Hello there! In today's episode of the Cyberpunk series, I will finally bring law and order to the Cyberpunk city by building and furnishing a police station. Like the title card said, we will once again start off with doing some off-camera work, well, on camera. Right now I'm working on a small area right next to the area we worked on during the last video. I'm just doing this area to kind of close off the city, so there won't be any actual interiors or anything interesting like that. So this work is pretty boring, but I don't like to do big changes like this off camera in case anyone is brave enough to actually copy this build. I don't believe anyone out there is even brave enough to attempt to copy this build. Especially because I do cut out a lot of the building I do during the live play parts of my videos. And even the speed build portions if I'm being honest to myself. You know, copying the parts of this build I built on video and filling in the parts I'm leaving out manually yourself might actually be more complicated and tedious than just flat out building your own city now that I think about it. I just know for a fact that if I ever had to choose between copying one of my own projects with the help of my videos alone, or anything else on the planet, I would always choose the other option without hesitation. Because I don't think anything would be as horrible as to attempt that. Maybe I shouldn't say that, I'm sure there are worse things I could be forced to do. I'm just saying that if I had to choose between that or like saving my family, I would still save my family. But I would think twice. The designs of these builds are nothing special, one of them is literally just a wall I placed a few windows on. But there are some new things I tried. This build for example has a kind of stripy pattern, which was inspired by this building from Cyberpunk 2077. And this building is... well, this building is just another generic Japanese looking build. But when the buildings around it are finished, you probably won't see much of it anyway, so not much of a point in creating like an interesting design for it. It's finally time to work on the police station now. Even though the exterior of the police station is made up entirely of basic shapes, it was still pretty simple to build because I only had to resize the shapes once and then I could just copy them around the entire building. I still really like the design though. When the whole building is finished, you'll see that every next floor extends a bit over the previous one, which makes the entire build pretty imposing, which is fitting for a police station. When building, I noticed that the police station looked a little smaller than what I wanted. The problem was that I couldn't really change the size of the build afterwards because I had already planned the entire route network around it. So I decided to make the build a little wider by adding kind of a bridge section to it. The bridge bit won't be furnished by the way, and I'll leave the upper floors of the main building empty as well. It's not that I don't have any ideas on what to do with this space. A certain looming threat is just proposing me to rather not make another huge interior, if you get what I mean. To keep with the theme of the buildings around it, the police station is also separated into the old original station at the bottom and the modern extension on top. Unlike the buildings around it, however, the entrance to the station is not at street level, but on the level of the pedestrian bridges I built during the last episode. The only reason I did it like that was because the stairs of the pedestrian bridges made it really difficult to make a decent exterior. So I just took the easy route. Now it's furnishing time. I have to say I really like how this interior turned out. It consists of kind of a foyer or lobby area where people come to complain about stuff or pay fines or whatever, and a back area where all the employees are working. I used the tall retro cabinets and the movie theater windows to create these customer service desks, of course with added neon lights. You don't see it in this time-lapse I don't think, but I have also created and edited in some decals with a custom police logo. The front part of this interior is pretty simple, but the employees only area is definitely way more detailed and also my personal favorite. You can see right now how I'm detailing the desks of the customer service staff. I used the cabinets above as some extra storage for a microwave and some files. And I also placed a TV onto the wall. I know a CRT TV doesn't really fit into the Cyberpunk theme, but the flat screen TVs just didn't really fit size-wise, especially with the cabinets in a way, so this was the only way to add in a screen at all. Finally, I'm working on the area where I imagine an emergency dispatcher might work at. So I built some servers in the back with a desk next to it with a lot more screens to watch surveillance footage or whatever emergency dispatchers do during their shift. Time for a parking garage. There wasn't a lot of space on the street level to park the custom police cars I made for this series, so I'm building a small parking garage instead. It's actually linked to a garage entrance I built a few episodes ago that didn't actually go anywhere. This garage only fits 2 police cars and a few mopeds because I had really big space constraints, but still it's better than nothing at all I guess. Of course the design is very simple. It's just white walls with wall trims, vents, some bollards and a few ads. But to be honest, there really wasn't a good reason to detail the garage any further than that, especially with the pretty detailed police car in there already. But that was pretty much everything I built. Well, not really, but I'll touch on that later. Now first of all, it's time to tour the station. And this is the finished police station. Honestly, from down here it does look pretty imposing, so I did a pretty good job with that. This right here is the bridge part, by the way. So this is the part of the boat that just kind of extends over this street. But yeah, the entrance is up here. This, by the way, is the custom sign I made for the police station. I also tried doing a neon sign. I'm decently happy with that. And this is the interior. This is just kind of the area where you queue up and wait for your turn. And these are the customer service desks. But yeah, oh yeah, I also made a second smaller sign for the police station. You know, because this one really didn't fit into the interior. But if we go into here, we first of all have the garage. This is the custom police car I made. It's fine, I mean, you can see what it's supposed to be, and that's enough for me. And then finally, if we walk into here, this is the working area, I guess. This is where the customer service people work at, and this is where I imagine a dispatcher might work at. And right here is just an area for the for the officers to get dressed. When I say it like that, this interior seems very simple, but I don't know, I really like it. I also finished all of these buildings up. The problem is I kind of lost the recording of that, so yeah, you're not going to see that, unfortunately. They still came out pretty good though. I really like how this build looks, especially the color scheme. And while we're here, these are the builds we made during the first part of today's episode. So this is the Strat building with this kind of clothing store below it, and this is supposed to be kind of a garage or a mechanic or something like that. For the next episode, I plan to fill in all of this stuff, so be prepared for a very big episode. But yeah, I guess we'll see how far we'll come with 18% plot data left. That will definitely be complicated. But yeah, that's all. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any final ideas for this project, comment them down below, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!